All right, good morning. Today is July 30th, 2025, 7:40 a.m. Back at it, ready for another one. So, good morning. Welcome back. Um, let's see. Yesterday's progress. I've been getting the campaign ready to go. I've still got to do some email development, get the HTML and CSS ready to go for that. I'll be working on that maybe today. As I mentioned in an earlier video, I'm currently on PTO vacation time. I'm using that up before my last day at my current job. I'm going to have that goes until August 15th is my last day there. I have PTO that goes up to August 13th. So I've been using that time just to spend some time with family. I'm getting some files done, some things that are just kind of loose ends at work, but working on transitioning out of that current opportunity. So let's see, I'll kind of pick up my story from what I was telling you yesterday. I mentioned working for Infuse Medical, and I was a multimedia developer with them. I worked for them for 2 years, did all different types of development, did 3D animations and multimedia development, Flash development, website development, and towards the latter end, started doing iOS and mobile applications. And was a creative director with them by the time I left. Had an awesome opportunity working with them. I learned a ton. I was only there for 2 short years, but it felt like a lifetime. It was really awesome. I really enjoyed working with them. And we did a lot of amazing, groundbreaking, innovative things for the time. The year was 2011. And we were kind of the first people to take high-end 3D animation and mix it with mobile applications. I mentioned the last video I was assigned to be the lead, the creative director and the designer for their first application for Medtronic, which was a smash hit. I didn't mention this in the last video, but when we did that video, first it was just a proof of concept. And they did a little test with one of their upcoming products for Medtronic. It was very well received at Medtronic. The team at Medtronic decided to put the whole catalog of product in this application. I didn't mention this yesterday, but from that, it got the attention of Apple. And Apple did a whole highlight series on what Medtronic was doing with iPads about 3 to 4 months after we had designed it and created it and was launching it. And so I didn't mention that yesterday. That helped fuel the fire. Apple did a whole segment that they showed at a upcoming, I don't know if it was WWDC or where they launched it, but there was a whole video segment about how Medtronic was using iPad, and it was all the work that we did for them, and they were able to do it because of my work and the work that we did at Infuse Medical. And as I mentioned in previous video, that launched, that caused a whole bunch of teams at Medtronic wanting to do iPads and mobile applications, and that caused the Infuse to be put on the short list of companies that were pre-approved to do that type of work. And like overnight, we were very busy doing mobile apps for one of the largest Fortune 500 medical companies in the world. And but personally, I I got a high five that there wasn't any trickle down economics. And in fact, I was working more. I was working about 80 to 90 hours a week. And we just had our second child. And I was expected just to keep doing what I was doing. And although the owners of Infuse were bringing in a lot of money, it didn't translate to me. So I had some very strong promptings. I didn't recognize it at the time, that I was being taken advantage of, and but I had some promptings, some feelings like it was time for me to move on. I continue to have really good career opportunities there. Being the creative director for all things Medtronic at Infuse, I did run their largest, at that time, their largest project. It was multifaceted digital media, and we had a team of about, at the time, there were probably about 5 to 6 of us that were dedicated to doing Medtronic projects. I was a creative director that was solely for Medtronic, and so the last project I did with them, they were working on launching. Medtronic was working on launching a new product here in the USA, and I was the creative director for all things that Infuse Medical was asked to produce, including video, green screening, web development, flash development, 3D animation, iPad applications. I think that's about it. There was it was a campaign that took us about 6 months to produce, and I was a creative director for it. I was also the web developer for it. I was also the designer for it. I was also the Flash developer for it. And so, as I mentioned before, it was kind of this flood of work, and Infuse was trying to scale themselves to handle the work, and it was not sustainable. And I had just had our second child, and I wasn't. My wife was super awesome, super amazing, and trying to, but she was doing it alone, and I was at work all the time. This was before COVID. Again, 2011. Remote work wasn't really even a thing too much back in the industry, and so I would, for a good half a year, I would get to work in the morning, be there for about a 30-minute lunch break to around noon, start picking up work again, take another 30-minute dinner break, head home. I live not too far from the office. Head home, eat dinner for the family for about 30, 45 minutes, go back to the office, work until about 2 in the morning, and then start that process over again the next day. And that lasted for about 6 to 8 months. And there was no end in sight. And I tried to talk with them about what we needed to do to change that. And they were trying to get things worked out, but wasn't sustainable. So I had some strong feelings like it was time to move on. I wrestled with that for a long time. I really enjoyed the team. I really enjoyed the work, but I was being taken advantage of, and I needed to find a different opportunity. And so I started interviewing, and interesting enough, I got a few weeks later, I was presented with 2 different job opportunities. One, to join the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as a interaction designer, and another offer to join the marketing team at 1-800-CONTACTS, the company I had worked for during college. And both were very compelling offers. The one for when I interviewed at the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, one of the interviews, the one of the top person said to me after looking at my portfolio and all the things that I was doing, he said, "I think you'd be bored here." I appreciated the honesty. I think I was applying for like some position that was going to be like designing a web portal for people who are signing on to the internet at their meeting houses. And yeah, after rounds, I went through multiple rounds of interviews during that time. And when I got to him, he was one of the upper ups for the technology department. And he looked at my portfolio and what I was applying for, and he just said, "You have very impressive past work experience." He said, "But be honest with you, I think you'd be bored here." And I really appreciated that answer. Um, and the same day that I got the offer for working at the church, I got an offer working for 1-800-Contacts in their marketing department. And that opportunity was to join them. They had just purchased a A/B and multivariate testing tool called SiteSpect, and they wanted to optimize the e-commerce experience for their main e-commerce store. And now I knew that marketing team because that was the team I did the internship years prior as an intern working in their SEO. So it had now been about 5 to 6 years since I had done that internship. I was now that creative director for that agency, and they gave me an opportunity to come back to that marketing team to come on as they really needed somebody that was a designer and a developer, which is what I am, a designer who knows how to code. And so I knew a good portion of that team. And the funny thing is, when I did that interview, they said, "So your main responsibilities for this job is to take our website and to design it and develop it over and over and over again, finding ways to optimize the user experience for checkout, for e-commerce." And I kind of chuckled myself, and I was like, remembering the years during college of doing that on the call center. I was like, I have experience doing this, and I can do it very well. So what that taught me is life has really funny ways of preparing you to what's coming next, and you don't always recognize what they are going to be. You just trust that what you're going through today is going to prepare you for tomorrow. And you don't always recognize it, and you won't recognize it, and sometimes it may take years till you recognize it, but it is happening, and I believe that for everybody. So they also were a lot more stable. They were the 1-800-Contacts is known as a very family friendly business. I would be working a traditional 9 to 5. I'd be able to see my family at night and not work 90-hour weeks, and it was a bump in pay. And so they had good benefits, and so talking it over with my spouse, my family, we had 2 little girls at the time. My oldest again was about 3 years old, 2 years old. We had a newborn. The year was 2011, August of 2011, and we decided to accept that offer at 1-800-Contacts. So I joined them as their UI UX experimentation manager, redesigning and redeveloping their website, their main e-commerce store over and over again, looking for ways to optimize the checkout process for orders. And I spent the next couple years doing that, and had a lot of great opportunities. So any of you that are my 1-800-CONTACTS friends from those years, you guys are awesome. We had a great time doing that. I will say, when I first stepped into that role, I walked into it was a political landmine. The best way to say that. Really great team, but there were very opposing forces to one another. There was a lot of, dare say, at some points it was toxic, toxic environment. And now there were some really great leaders that I worked with during that time, and I learned a ton, just a ton, a billion. Like, I learned so many valuable leadership skills and how to make digital products that people loved and wanted. And so I'm extremely grateful for those years, but they were hard years because there were some internal office politics that were very hard to navigate. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but I am grateful that I went through them, because it taught me a ton about who I want to be and how I want to treat other people in the workplace. And more importantly, how to motivate teams appropriately, and how to dismantle office politics that can be a cancer and destroy companies from within. And so they were years of really good things that we accomplished, and there were years of really interesting things to observe and to navigate and to learn from a leadership perspective. I would say the years that I was there, it really refined me of how to make great digital products using data. That company is very data driven. How to use data to make informed decisions, and to put personal biases, even if you think you're the most expert person in the room, how to put that aside, and how to be wrong, from how to accept that you're wrong when the data tells you that that's what people want. So I spent it was a good 3 years that I was the UI UX experimentation manager, 3 to 4 years, optimizing their e-commerce store, doing A/B and multivariate tests with a tool called SiteSpect. And I'm happy to say that we optimize it to one of the best performing e-commerce websites in the nation. We reached an 83 score by 4C. 4C is kind of an industry measuring stick. Kind of measures people's perception and of e-commerce stores. And 83 is amazing. It's ranked within the top 10 best performing e-commerce websites in the world, ranking among Apple, Amazon, and giants like that. And we got to, I think, number 7. So top 7 in the world, and we second in our category. Our category was in beauty and health. And so to say that we had the second best performing e-commerce website in the world, rated by 4C, an 83 score. We had a 5-star rating with Google Trusted Stores. We got to an overall conversion rate of 22%, which is outstanding. Give you context for those who don't work in e-commerce. A good e-commerce checkout industry averages around 6 to 8%. And so we hit 22%. That includes new customers and returning customers. The new customer, I think, or the two combined, we hit an overall 22%. which is outstanding. It's amazing. It delivered about $450 million in year-over-year revenue, and it was the main driver for revenue for the company. And now, I don't claim that was just me. There was a whole team of people working on the website, and really great leadership, really great product leadership that also contributed to that. But I'm proud to say that I was part of the e-commerce optimization team that ran that. When I first started as that position, it was a solo band of just me doing the optimization. So I would look at their store, I would design new flows, new ways of running the website, and then I would code it, integrate it with their A/B and multivariate testing tool. For those who don't know what that is, it's basically a tool that allows you to show different variations to the traffic coming in, and they're put into a usability test without them knowing that they are in a test. And so you'll have one visitor come in, be presented option A, another visitor come in, be presented option B, yada, yada, yada. And then it, through analytics, tracks how the traffic performs in those scenarios. And then through analytical data and statistics, you can then say variation 3 is the most optimal way to get people from point A to point B. And you then can ramp up all of your traffic to follow flow C, and that's how you optimize your store. And so I spent 3 years doing that. First, a solo person running that program, was paired with one of my best working buddies named Jonas. Jonas, if you're watching this, I miss the days working with you, buddy. We had some really good times optimizing the store. Jonas works in analytics and is phenomenal doing web optimization and analytics himself. And we were joined at the hip to get this program going. And so we spent the next couple of years running that. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have a great leader who also believed in me and our team at the time. Her name's Amy. Amy, if you're watching this by chance, thank you for believing in me and putting faith that I could have an impact on the company, and the trust that you put into me and getting us there. And so if you're watching this, Amy, good to see you. I hope you're doing great. And I learned from Amy what a true great leader looks like in leading people. Amy is the type of person, the type of manager that is the salt of the earth. She is amazing. And just by working with her and observing her and how she motivated teams, but gave them the trust and the autonomy and the ability to lead by example and to be insanely smart but humble, was a pattern that I continue to try to apply to myself today. That doesn't sound like I'm being humble. But what I learned from those years from Amy is how to be wicked smart, but wicked fun and friendly and kind to others. And so, Amy, you are an exceptional leader in the business world. Anybody who's watching this who knows Amy also knows this. She's since moved in her career. She's now off doing amazing things for the company still. And phenomenal leader. So just really grateful that I was able to work with her confidence in me to come onto a team, into an area that was new for all of us, and just be able to jump in and figure things out, which was another thing that I learned from those years is you don't have to always be an expert, but what you do need to have is a desire to say, I don't know how to do that yet. Keyword yet. If you have that attitude, it will take you very far. And I've applied that to building common creatives, saying there's many things that I'm like, I know I need to do this. I don't know how to do it yet. And just start swimming, start diving in and going for it. So 1-800-CONTACTS, I worked with them a total of about 7.5 years. The first 3 to 4 years was doing the e-commerce optimization. During that period of time, there was some shuffling of teams. There was some acquisition of the company. And I ultimately was charged to be the UI UX designer for all of their digital products, as the UI UX manager. And I oversaw a small team building out the product design for 1-800-CONTACTS, including their mobile apps. So I found myself working in mobile again. They had created a mobile application at the time, and I was charged to redesign it and to optimize it and get A/B and multivariate testing on that tool as well. So I did that. They also wanted to expand and that app into a tablet version. So in the redesign, we included the phone and a tablet version. And about that same time, we had Apple knock on our door again. And the second time in my career interfacing with Apple. And they said Apple had plans to announce the Apple Watch, and they had announced it in 2015. We were in the midst of redesigning the whole app for 1-800-CONTACTS, and they invited me and our senior developer to come on site to get our application set up to run on the Apple Watch. And they invited us to design what it would look like to have the 1-800-CONTACTS app on the Apple Watch. So the lead developer and myself, we went out to Cupertino. We spent a few days working with Apple on site, getting a design concept. We started on the design concepts at the office, and then we spent a few days working with Apple, getting it ready for the 2015 launch of the Apple Watch that would be launching that year. Why Apple does that is they reach out to innovative companies, kind of leaders in the space, and when they launch their product, they want to make sure that there are software done by the industry that is ready for the launch, and so that there are applications there and it looks like a vibrant product. And so they asked 1-800-CONTACTS to come out. I was part of that. I was the designer, the lead designer, and the UI UX manager, and we designed what it would look like to have the 1-800-CONTACTS app on the Apple Watch. So for the second time, I had an opportunity to work with Apple and see my work be featured by them. And we designed for that watch application, we designed a single tap checkout flow for e-commerce. There's a thing called a lens gauge. You basically have the ability to track how long you're wearing your contact lenses for both your left and right eye. It tracks it for you and then informs you when you are running out of your supply. And then with a single tap, you can reorder and you never run out of contacts. During that period of time, I also worked with some of the best creative agencies in San Francisco. Para Odell invited us to work with them. So we made some amazing commercials highlighting the 1-800-CONTACTS app. And so I had an opportunity to go to San Francisco for a few times and work with world-class, high top-tier creative agencies making commercials that highlighted the work that I was doing for one of the best e-commerce mobile applications available for contact lenses. I spent a total of 7.5 years working for 1-800 Contacts. The last project I worked on with them was they wanted to get into using the mobile application to do eye exams. So I was the lead designer to get Express Exam done through a smartphone. We designed the ability to do eye exams done through a smartphone, as well as integrating it with their e-commerce store, which I subsequently earned a design patent with them for the innovative work that we did to be able to do an eye exam through a smartphone, which you can do today. So I signed the paperwork to file the patent the last year that I was there, and about that same time, I got a call from a recruiter from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, wondering if I would be interested in coming to help them work on their mobile applications. And I decided I would explore what that looked like, and that's where I'll end the video for today. Again, I'm grateful for the people who worked with me along the way. I know there were many things that I did, there were many things that team members did, and I'm not naive to think that it was a solo man journey. There were many great people along the way, and I'm grateful that we were able to work together in all of those things. And I feel it a privilege to have been able to have those opportunities. 1-800 Contacts years, like many things, full of great blessings and great amazing things that happened, also full of very hard, challenging things that refined me and taught me how to be a design leader. By the time I left, again, I was the UI UX manager. I was running a small UI UX team, a product design team, and we weren't just keeping up with the industry, we were defining it. And I was right at the heart of it for the eye care industry. In fact, one last story, and then I'll sign off. When I was redesigning all of these things, we wanted to make it all cohesive to the website. And we were well on our way. We were doing great. We had this silly review process where we'd bring all of the major decision makers together once a week, and we do a thing called the Bob Ross review, where we put all the design concepts up on a wall, and the whole wall was a white wall that you could write on, and decision makers had a white erase marker, and we would all kind of make our notes, and there would be a presenter, which was the designer, who would walk through the concepts, and the major decision makers could annotate on it, and it was just very collaborative. And what I learned from that is you put a design concept up in front of people, and everyone's going to see it a little different based on their training, based on how they think. You'll have a designer looking at things, thinking about flows and checkouts and typography and color and branding. And then you're going to have an analytics team member look at what tags need to be there to keep it the analytics correct. You're going to have a developer look at it, say, like, is this even possible to develop? What frameworks do we have that we can access and use to speed up the development? What code base would need to be updated? What calls would need to be changes? What databases would we call? And although it's the same design, same concept in front of everybody, everybody's looking at it and analyzing it differently based on their training. And that's a great thing. It means you don't always agree, but it's a great thing because you put it out there and you can come to an agreement and come to an understanding, and you can meld all your minds together. And that's how we did it. I earned an award working at the company for doing that, getting that cross-functional collaboration process put together. And we would do that once a week. I got an award from the business for being collaborative and leading our teams to be able to produce that. So I'm very proud of that opportunity. I learned from that is that in order to make really great digital products, really anything, you got to work with other people, and you got to put your ego aside. You got to listen. You got to hear what people are really trying to tell you, and you got to have open, honest conversations about the steps you move forward. And there's got to be a leader. There's got to be a leader that says, thank you, let's go with X, or let's go with Y, based on that knowledge. And leadership is given, it's not taken, and people will only follow you if they believe that you're going to take them to a better place. And you can only go as fast as the speed of trust. And I've learned that lesson, and I keep seeing it over and over in my career, especially as I'm advancing from more of an individual contributor to an individual who needs to lead multiple team members to success. And I firmly believe in that leadership is given, it's not taken. And people will only follow you if they believe that you will lead them to a better place than they are currently. And you can only go as fast as the speed of trust. So, all right. Well, I'm going to sign off. And thanks for joining me this morning. I'm continuing to work on getting this campaign ready to go, getting the email campaign ready to go. All right. Have a good morning. All right. Good morning, guys. Today is July 31st at 7:45 a.m. I'm going to have to keep this one a little short this morning. In a few minutes, I'm going to be heading down to a doctor's appointment. I made a doctor's appointment. As you know, I'm currently moving on to a new opportunity, new work opportunity, 9-to-5 opportunity, and I'll be switching insurance here in a few weeks. But I wanted to get a yearly check-in, just to check on my health, do a little blood work, check the cholesterol, all of that. And I thought I would roll that into what this whole adventure is about as well, documenting the journey that I have for the whole year. And this video series, part of that video series is what it looks like to be an entrepreneur and a real authentic journey in today's America in 2025. And part of that is your health and the trying to take care of yourself in this journey. I don't think it's any secret that entrepreneurs often neglect their health in the journey of trying to start up a business. It's usually one of the first things to skip on. Getting good sleep, going to the gym, eating a good diet, all of that seems like it goes out the window when you're trying to get something off the ground. And I am no exception to that. I've mentioned in earlier videos, most of these things I've been doing has been late at night, which means my sleep has been poor for many years. And the exercise regimen has not been consistent, which is one of the reasons why I do these videos, getting up in the morning and going for walks. And the diet. I do okay on my diet. I could make better choices, probably like all of us could. But so I'm actually going to be heading out here in a few minutes to go down and visit my local physician, It's a doctor I've been going to for many years, and I'm going to do a yearly checkup. I'm going to ask him if he's okay. I do a little recording while I'm there. He may say no, um, but if we can get him on camera, then it will just be a little recap of what he finds in my current health. I'm going to ask him to take a blood sample to do some checks there. Um, we won't have those results today. It'll probably come back in a few days, and I'll share those what I can with you there. Um, but yeah, so today is a little bit of a health check to see where I'm at, a baseline on my health state. A quick comment on my mental state. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really positive. I'm really excited. I feel excited about what I'm setting out to do, bringing you guys along on this journey. Excited and nervous for a new 9 to 5 opportunity. But overall, I feel like my mental health is in a good state, and I feel like I'm excited. Overall, I'm excited about things in life and things that I'm trying to accomplish. And health-wise, that's what we're going to have a doctor tell us how I'm doing. So I'm going to keep it short to there. And if I can get a few shots at the doctor's office, then we'll do that. All right. See you in a bit. All right. Good morning, guys. Here I am. I'm at my doctor's office. I'm here with Dr. Kimball.
Hello.
Dr. Kimball's been taking care of me for the last many years. I've been in a few times. And he's always made sure I'm in good health. And as I knew I was going to start out doing this documentary, I've shown you the baseline of my business. I wanted to show you the baseline of my health. So it's not any secret that many people that set out to be entrepreneurs, one of the first things they let go is their health. They do poor sleep, poor eating habits. They don't exercise. I'm no different. I've struggled to figure out the best way to get that into my daily routine as well. I feel like I'm in good health. I feel like I'm in good mental health. But part of this process, I wanted to also get a good baseline. And so I've asked Dr. Kimball to just take a minute to tell me how I'm doing. He has already done the assessment, but to record this, we're going to talk about what he found. So, Dr. Kimball, can you give us a little update of how I'm doing with my health?
Yeah, sure. So nice thing with where you've been coming for the last like 4 or 5 years, we've done consistent blood work and checked up on vitals and different things like that. And um, you've always been very like consistent. Like your health hasn't fluctuated much. I mean, your weight hasn't fluctuated much. Your vital signs all look good. Um, it's been good to see like your blood work, cholesterol levels, everything's looked awesome. And so we're getting blood work again today and see where that's at. But yeah, overall it's been really healthy and been keeping an eye on your health. So it's good.
All right, Mom, you heard it firsthand from the professionals. I'm doing all right.
Yep.
I am 41. I'll be 42 this fall. Um, my health sounds like it's in good place. I did ask him to do some blood work for me, so we're going to get back and maybe in a couple of weeks here. How long does it usually take to get blood work back?
Usually just a couple days, and then yeah, we'll call you with the results.
Couple of days, and we'll find out how I'm doing with my blood work. So, anything else that you would say about health? Anything else say today?
No, I mean on paper and everything, and labs look good. So.
Okay, you've heard it firsthand. All right, thanks, Dr. Kimball.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, guys, we're back. Just got home from the doctor's office where I was with Dr. Kimball. Part of documenting this, I wanted to show you my weight and my body physique. Now, this is not normally something I would do and put on the internet, but I figured, you know what, if you were to bump into me at a public pool, this is what you're going to get. So I'm going to show you where I am currently with my weight and then my body physique and put it out on the internet. So here we go. So I'll first show you, I'm going to flip around the camera. So I'm going to do a little pause there and then get a little body shot. So again, just want to document where I am currently with my health and giving you a baseline of how I am doing as I'm setting out to do this. So I'm going to pause it and we're going to flip the camera around and here we go.
Okay, here we go. We're back on the scale. Let's go ahead and get her warmed up. Maybe. Okay, right now it currently says 198.6. That's actually better than I have been in the past. I usually hover around 200, maybe a little over 200. Again, 198.6. I am, here we go, a little body shot. Not amazing, not bad. A little bit to work on. According to, I'm going to do another weight here, and then on my phone, I'll get you what it says on the my body fat percentages. I'm going off a scale that claims that it reads it, but as you can see, I've got a good farmer's tan that I've been working on for many years. A little bit around the waistline, a little spare tire I need to work off, and yeah, so that's where I'm currently at. I'm 41 years old. I'll be 42 this fall, and over in just a minute, I'm going to do another weigh-in, and I'm going to see if I can get the numbers for my health. Maybe I'll do in the editing process. I'll get you a picture of what that says, but my my scale can read the body percentages and all that. So I'm going to pause it here and see if I can get that to read, and then I'll put it again here on the video in just a second. All right, see you guys. All right, guys, we're back. I'm going to do a quick weigh-in on the scale and get you that number. So here we go. Okay, it says I'm at 199, just under 200 pounds. And that's saving to my phone. I'll give you a body shot here. Here we go. And there I am on my glory. Haven't been as consistent in my exercising. I need to do that more often. Again, I figure that one of the things I've got going for me is my good farmer's tan. As you can see that good side there. I've got a little bit of a spare tire to work off, but yeah, that's going to be part of the journey here, is making sure I'm taking care of my health as I go through this process throughout this next year. And yeah, so again, I figure this is what you'd get if you saw me at the public pool, and not where I want to be. I want to be a little bit less in my weight, but again, just a good documentary of where I am currently physically as I set out to do this journey of being an entrepreneur here in America in 2025. All right, see you guys.
All right, guys, I'm back. It is still July 31st, Thursday, July 31st, 2025. It is now about 9 o'clock. Still just got back from Dr. Kimball's, as you just saw, and get a little health assessment there. You can see for my health bandage, they did take some blood, and I should get the results back from that in the next few days, as he mentioned. I gave you guys the beauty shot just a minute ago. I debated for a long time if I should do that and put that on the internet for everyone to see. And a couple of thoughts that ran through my mind was, I hope my high school sweetheart doesn't see that and they would think, what has become of me? But the good news is I married my high school sweetheart, so she's seen that plenty. So she knows exactly who I am today. And as I mentioned before, I also was like, should I put this on the internet? And my reasoning was, you know what, if you bumped into me at the public pool out there in all my glory, it's not going to be any different. So I just happened to be standing in my bathroom doing it. So I'm not usually a fan of posting myself in a swimsuit on the internet for all to see, but you know what, if you saw me at the public pool, that's what you'd see. So
So, to my teenage daughter who may be watching this, who feels embarrassed right now, deal with it. So, that happened, and it's part of the documenting series. I wanted to capture that as I've given you a baseline of the business and where we're starting from. I wanted to give you a baseline of my health and what I'm starting from as I'm kicking this off, going into this next year, working on producing this series of how I got here. So I hope to say in a year from now, I'm just as healthy, if not better. I have already agreed with Dr. Kimball that I'll be back in a year this time next year to get another assessment, do my yearly checkup. I hope to be mentally strong. I hope to be physically strong in the current state, if not better. So, yeah, it's a real thing that entrepreneurs have to juggle, especially trying to get something launched on the side as I'm doing with my current 9-to-5 and balancing all of that out. And so wanted to capture that. I'm glad I did that and put it part of the record. So let's see, last report on what I accomplished last night. I mentioned that this video series, there's not a whole lot of editing. That's to keep it so I'm not too bogged down in doing that. It is very time consuming to do video editing, especially for me because I'm usually long-winded. And but I'm trying to keep that at a minimal. But the intro video, I showed the intro video that I'm going to be putting on YouTube to my family a few nights ago, and they all gave me the same feedback, which is it's kind of long, which they're right. So I've cut it down. It's now about 8 minutes long. Gets to the point of what this is about. And so of all of the videos, that one's the most edited, and that's just to get people a quick intro to what this is all about. So thanks for coming along for the journey. Like, comment, and subscribe, and invite people to come along the journey with me. It's now Thursday. I'm wrapping up week 5. So I'm going to finish the editing of that and of the intro video. I think it's pretty much ready to go. And I'm going to get this ready to launch. I still need to do the email campaign, get this prepared. Come Monday morning, bright and early, I will be on the road with my dad heading to the Redwood Forest. And so next week I'm going to be getting some video of our journeys there. So thanks for coming along. Thanks for being here with me, and we'll see you next time.